See, I don't know if you have sat down to think about this in life. When we go to school, before we moved from class 1 to class 2, there is something we call examination. We write our final year exams, final term or academic year exams, and that exam is what will determine whether you move to the next class or you remain. It doesn't matter whether you pass the first term and the second term examination. The most important thing is that you are passing the final or the end of the academic year examination. Immediately you pass that examination, you are already qualified to move to the next level. It happens in all sectors of education. It happens at workplaces. Before somebody will be promoted at his workplace, they have to conduct a test for that person. If you pass, then you are eligible to move to the next level, or you are eligible to be promoted. But if you don't pass, then you need to sit back, put your things in order, re-study and rewrite again in the next academic year. And when you pass, you'll be promoted. What am I trying to say? This thing that I'm talking about is something that applies in all sectors of life, including Christianity. See, as Christians, every day, every hour, we desire to be lifted. We desire to be glorified. We desire to be in the next level, to be in our glory. But we always don't give the attention to what will help us to move to our next level. See, our God is a God of principles. God walked by principles, and he walked by the principle of his word. Before, as a Christian, you will move to another level. Before you increase, before you be lifted or exalted, you need to go through a test. Without this test, you cannot move to your next level. That is the principle that you need to know. That's why somebody said you cannot have a testimony without going through something that will vindicate your testimony, that this is what was happening to me, this is what I was going through, and God gave me this, and God delivered me, and God brought this, that, and this. You understand it? So you cannot see anybody's testimony without some portion which look as if it is bad. Without that portion, it's not a testimony. So as Christians, if you want to be lifted, if you want to be glorified, if you want to move to the next level, you need to go through a test. Job, a critical example that always will make an example with. Before Job will receive his double portion of blessing, even though Job was blessed, but that was not his destiny. God has prepared for him. So before God will give him that destiny that he has prepared for him, he has to allow him go through a test. And that test, by the grace of God, Job was able to pass it. And the glory was beyond human understanding and human imagination. Brothers and sisters, let us know this truth, and all of us are going to be blessed. There is no testimony without a test.